Hi there, Professor Carson. This is Aniket here, and this is my fourth speech out of the sixth. And I'm tackling climate change issue and how California is a leader in climate change action on a subnational level. California is a leader on climate change by making bold and quick action. Its hallmark of its succession is in its strong government leadership, which accelerated investment in clean energy and rapid growth of businesses that contributes to the advancement of low carbon economy. The article I found basically goes through all the achievements and all the acts that they passed to achieve a leadership role on a subnational level. One of their first early works, the EDF co-sponsored California's Global Warming Solution Act of 2006, which was also known as AB 32, passed in 2006, set a statewide limit on greenhouse gas emissions to be emitted each year. California strengthened the limit on greenhouse gas emissions with passage of SB 32 in 2016, exactly 1 decade after the passage of AB 32, which set the limit of the amount of greenhouse gas emissions to be emitted in each year. And the SB 32 was passed after the succession of AB 32. Which actually AB 32, which actually made California a leader at the subnational level. These SB 32 actually implemented more limitation on greenhouse gas emissions by making a goal of reaching gas emissions to 40% below 1990 levels of 2030. So they want to reach 40% or below levels of carbon emissions, which was the amount of emissions in 1990 year by at least 2030. California's economy is growing rapidly, and while the carbon emission is actually declining, this tells us that state is well on its way to renewable energy due to the advancement in clean energy and energy efficiency. One of the other programs that they are considering is the cap and trade program, and I found the cap and trade program really interesting, and it actually works quite well in a state like California. Cap and trade program works through the government. So basically, a government will allow the amount of permits to a company or organization to emit the amount of greenhouse gas emissions each year. So they will allow these companies or organization the amount of emissions so they are only limited to that amount of emissions each year. And I found a really good visual graphic that actually will explain the cap and trade program really well. And here's the graphic right here. I'm gonna put this up here for you to see, and I'm actually gonna go through this graphic real quick. We have two companies. We have company A and company B, and if you can see the dotted line, it will actually on top of the dotted line, it actually say emission cap, which is the cap allowed by the government, which is the allowances given by a government to a particular company to be used by that company. And if you can see, the dotted line represents the amount of emissions to be used by those companies, and company A doesn't use the 1 ton of. So let's say government actually allowed 1 ton of emissions. So the total amount of cap is split into allowances, each permitting a company to emit 1 ton of emissions. So in order to put 1 ton of emissions into perspective, you roughly have to drive 2,400 miles or roughly the distance between New York and Las Vegas, to emit 1 ton of carbon emissions. Going back to the visual, so let's say right here it says unused permits. So basically, company A doesn't use that 1 ton of the permit given by the government, which can be free or through an auction. Company A doesn't use 1 ton of emissions, so what they can do, let's say they only use 0.7 ton of emissions, so they have 0.3 ton of emission left, and this is where the trade part of the cap and trade program comes in. They can actually sell those permits to other company. So this is actually called trade part of the trade program, in exchange of money. And the like you can see right here, company needs to produce something that goes above the 1 ton emission cap line. So let's say this amount right here is 0.3 that they needed. So this company can sell that 0.3, and so which is the company B in need of. They need to use 1.3 ton of carbon emissions in order to produce their goods. So this company can sell them in exchange of sell their permits in exchange of money, and this way this company can be in profit by selling those permits to the other company, and this company can be making their goods and selling and making profit still. So this is actually the cap and trade program. This is how the cap and trade program works, which is basically just using the amount of permits given by the government, and if you're not using that much permits, you can just sell it to other company and make profit out of it. This way, company cannot be in loss, and they can still be making profit, but still going to the level, the set level of carbon emission by the government in their acts, which is the cap and trade program, which was extended until 2030 by the state. In order to put subnational level into perspective, the state arranged a meeting, which gathered world leaders representing government, the private sectors, and indigenous people. And this meeting actually became an occasion for subnational climate action. And the state has some policies that could align with California's policies, which is the cap and trade program that I talked about, which was extended until 2030. And state also is really good in fast tracking emission reductions to benefit public health through policies that work in concert with cap and trade. Clean energy economy through renewables and modernizing and automating energy options in the state. So basically, the article just goes through all these policies and then the achievements that the California achieved in order to be the leader in climate action on a subnational level. So they passed AB 32 in 2006 and SB 32 at least a decade later, which reduces and puts a limit on spending the amount of greenhouse gas emissions each year. And California is also considering cap and trade, which is I talked about, to actually protect, which the cap and trade program actually protects the rainforests around the world, proposed via its California Tropical Forest Standard Program, which protects the tropical forests around the world, and actually gives a really good inspiration to other countries around the world to actually implement these programs in order to take control of climate change. You can also see automotive industry in California just going more electric and clean energy. The the increase in Tesla cars over in California really shows you like the state's achievements and making more Teslas available in California state is what they represent, and what they want to achieve is to achieve renewable energy and clean efficiency in the state. Thanks for listening to my speech. I know it's a long one, but this was really interesting topic to cover. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.